Hi students, today's topic is Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act 1946. The purpose of this act is to provide uniformity in the conditions of service of workers and also to avoid the conflict between the management and the workers regarding industrial undertaking not giving proper information about employment condition. This act has been introduced. The purpose is whatever the working conditions they are being provided in an industry, that has to be properly informed by the authorities or the management. For that reason only this act has been introduced. Under this particular act we have come across with 15 subsections, a schedule which is been given as a model of standing orders, that is what are all the things is being covered in the standing orders. Now if you go with the introduction, in earlier days, before introducing this act, there is no uniformity in the conditions of service of workers because management, that is employers, are exploiting the workers about not informing properly about the working conditions, and it which leads to frequent cause of friction between management and the workers in industrial undertaking, and that too in India, where mainly due to the absence of clear-cut employment conditions which should be known to the workers, which is not clearly be given by the employer. And also the Labour Investigation Committee observed industrial worker has the right to know all the terms and conditions which he expected to follow, which is not being provided properly by the employers. And also in favor of central law making its obligation on the part of employer frame particular obligatory provisions regarding the industry which they are going to start according to the employment conditions which has been given. Based on that, this act has been introduced. Now these are all the section wise content which is going to be covered in this act. As we know, definitions will be under section 2, and what is the procedure, conditions, and how to adopt or when the date of operation standing orders is going to be implemented, and what is the payment and subsistence allowances, and who is the certifying officers to be appointed, what are the temporary applications of standing orders, penalties, procedures. These are all the things which is being covered in the act. That is what given from 1 to 15 under Standing Orders Act. Now, when we come across with objective, scope, and applicability, as I said, to minimize the conflict. When a conflict will raise means when the workers are unaware about the working conditions, and due to that they may be exploited by the employers. When exploitation has a conflict will raise between the management and the employees. To avoid those, what they did is they introduced these particular standing orders by giving clear awareness about what are the working conditions of the industry they are working. That is to minimize the industrial conflict, to foster the harmonious relation between the employer and employee, and to define the working conditions of the workers in which they are working. And the scope and applicability of this particular act is as whole of India it covers the act, and the establishments where 100 or more workmen are employed, where employment or any days of preceding 12 months, that establishment cover the act. Then uh, these two industrial establishments won't cover under Standing Orders Act is Bombay Industrial Relation Act 1946 and also Madhya Pradesh Industrial Employment Standing Orders 1961. Why? Because these two acts are already been providing the provisions related to standing orders in that particular Industrial Relations Act of Mumbai and also Madhya Pradesh. For that reason only this act won't apply to these industries. Here typographical mistake happened as 1974 6. It is 1946. Now the definitions which we come across in Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act, certifying officer, that is the proper authority which we say it as labor commissioner, is appointed for the certification of standing orders. He will be properly appointed by the government and be notified in the official gazette. And the appellant authority is also appointed by the government for seeking, appealing, or any other purpose of seeing the orders of employer or any of the workman who is been want to appeal with the standing orders. Then standing order definition is also being given in this act. That is, what is a standing order means the rules pertaining to working of establishment to be submitted by the employer is called as standing orders. That means according to any establishment, industrial establishment, when we come across, they have to be clear in what the working conditions they are going with. That has to be properly submitted by the employer to the government, and government will certify it, and then they can start the industrial establishments, or they can the industrial establishment. That is what it is being clear in the act of standing orders. Then what is the procedure of Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act is within 6 months from the date on which this act is being applicable to any industry, the employer of that industry establishment has to submit to the certifying officer 5 copies of draft. That is, here draft nothing but what all the working condition is applicable that to that particular industrial establishment. He has to make a draft. It has to be given in 5 copies, proposed to be adopted by him in his industrial establishment. Together, he has to attach the Form 1 of workman employed and name of trade union, if any, which belong to Section 3. This is also which has to be done by the employer. Then, one receipt of draft, the certifying official shall forward a Form 2 copy thereof to the trade union, if any is been connected with that industrial establishment, and to the workman requiring objections, if any. Why? Because when they are going with the standing orders, worker is having all the rights to object with the working conditions. In that case, workman, if any, desire to make the draft standing orders to be objected, within 15 days from the receipt of the notice, he can go with the objection. Then the certifying officer shall decide whether or not any modification or addition to the draft is necessary to render the standing orders, and shall make an order in writing. Then certifying officers shall thereupon certify the draft and send within 7 days copies of certifying standing orders to the employer or union, if it is applicable, or representative of the workman. After that, they can start the operations. Here, up can be done by the employer, workman, or trade union agreed by the order of the certifying officer. Is appealing in the sense any objections or any kind of stoppage of this order is being done means they can appeal with the authority by the employer or with the workman or with the trade union within the 10 days, 30 days of the appellant authority whose decision shall be final. Now, the appellant authority within 7 days of its order send copy to the certifying officer. They can go with the authentication in the prescribed manner. Then the appellant authority has no power to set aside the order of the certifying order. That is, within this 30 days appeal and within this 7 days of appeal anything is not being changed means then appellant authority is having no power to set aside the order of the certifying officer. Once certifying officer is giving approval, then this appellant authority cannot do anything. He can conform or amend the standing orders according to the draft submitted by the employer. This is what the appellant authority's powers is concerned. Before that, we can proceed with any kind of appealing. If once order is being issued by the certifying officer means then they cannot go with the appealing. That is appealing if they do also authority is not having any power to go with the orders of certifying officer. Now when these operations can come into existence is before the expiry of the 30 days, the date of operation can be started unless any appeal is being preferred coming to the operation. As I said, no, when the standing order is being approved and it is going to be processed, means before that any appealing happens, then that case they cannot operate the standing orders. Or expiry of that 7 days of draft with the appellant authority is being sent means then also they can start their date of operation with regard to standing orders. Now, register of standing orders, when we come across a copy of all standing orders as finally certified under this act shall be filed by the certifying officer in a register in the prescribed form, and it shall be furnished a copy of it to any person on payment of the prescribed fees under section 8. Then the standing orders will be pasted by pasted by the employer in English and in language understood by the majority of the workmen according to the state language which they are using. He has to fix that standing orders in their industrial establishment on special boards to be maintained for this particular purpose, or near the entrance through which the majority of the workmen can see the industrial establishment. When a standing orders can be modified, for example, any uh, working condition is going to be changed, then when the employer can go with this changes means that is expiry of this 6 month standing orders, they can go with the modifications from the date on which the standard order last modifications come into operation. Unless the agreement provide otherwise, it cannot be modified. Who may apply for modification means employer or workman may apply to the certifying officer, because modification can also be done by the workman, because according to it is a right given to the workers to modify the working conditions to avoid the conflicts in the industrial establishment. That must be applied and been accompanied by 5 copies of modification and in prescribed format they have to be made to the certifying officer. Then if any payment of subsistence allowance is being provided, means it comes under section 10A. Employer suspend the workman pending investigation or inquiry into complaints or charges of misconduct against the workman of subsistence allowance shall be payable at the rate of 50% of the wages which the workman has been entitled. Such suspension for the first 90 days of period, and the rate of 75% of such wages for the remaining period of suspension if the delay in completion of disciplinary proceedings against such workman is not directly attributable to the conduct of such workman. Then any dispute arise regarding the subsistence allowance which has to be provided. Here the subsistence allowance payable raised as a dispute, it may be referred to the Labour Code constituting under Industrial Dispute Act 1947. That is, if subsistence allowance is not being provided by the employer to the workman, then that investigation inquiries they have to go, or the complaint or charges of this misconduct which is being done by the workman shall be payable regarding the subsistence allowance. Every certifying officer shall have all the powers of civil court. As we come across in the Industrial Dispute Act also, certifying officer is having powers to take the charge of the civil court proceedings, receiving the evidences, administering the oaths of the employer or the workman, enforcing the attendance of witness, compelling the discovery and the production of documents. All these can be deemed in the civil code, as it is given in section 12A, oral evidences in contradiction of standing orders. As we said, if it is a civil code, proper evidences has to be given, and evidences of witness, attendance, all these are all compulsory as generally which is being followed in the court. Then penalties and procedures, if we see with these standing orders, an employer who is failing to submit the draft of standing orders is punishable with a fine of 5,000 rupees and may extend to, and in case of continuing offence further means extend of to 200 rupees every day after the first during which the offence continues. Then an employer who does any act in controversy of standing orders, like controversy in the case if it is not providing proper information to the workers about the working conditions, or is not maintaining proper posting of the standing orders in the special boards, all these cases can be confined as controversies of the standing orders. In that case, he is be punishable with fine, which may be extended to 100 rupees in case of continuation of offence, or it may extend with 25 rupees for every day after the first is being continued. In the form of fine only, this penalty can be uh, given to the employer. Power to exempt or and delegation of power can be done under section 14. Appropriate government may be given notification in the Gazette, that is exemption, conditions or unconditionally any industrial establishment or class of industrial establishment from all or any provisions of this act is being provided under section 14. Then in section 15, power to make rules is usual procedure of any of the act. This power to make rules is the section which is being given in any of the act. It is that Act empowers the appropriate government to make rules to carry out the purposes of this Act. That is, prescribe additional matters to be included in the schedule, which can be done under Section 15 as power to make rules. That is a set of model standing orders for the purpose of the Act, or procedure of certifying officers and appellant authorities. All these can be considered of empowering the rules by the government. Then this is what the model, as we talked about the schedule. Any standing orders will be classified like this as classification of work. As I said, no working conditions. If I say, these are all the things which has to be properly given to the government by the employer in the format which is being draft. We say it as in according to standing orders. Classification of workers, that is casual, temporary, permanent. All these classification has to be given. And publication of work timings, as I said in Facts Act, every holiday other than Sunday, if they are being providing means, it has to be properly intimated to the government. That process can be done in the standing orders when they are going with the uh, model or the schedule which is being covered in standing orders. Wage rates, pay days, holidays, working timings, shift working, attendance and late comings, leaves which they are providing, holidays they are giving in according to that industrial establishment, what are all, how many casual leaves they are having, payment of wages they are having, when the stoppage of work happened, termination of employment on what conditions they are providing, disciplinary action for misconduct, how they are taking, how suspension can be given, dismissal of any employee, complaints regarding any of the industrial establishment. All these things has to be properly intimated to the government in the prescribed standing orders format. That is what we say it as draft. This is what the standing orders format which has to be followed by any industrial establishment. If they are not following means, accordingly this power to make rules or the penalties or procedures how to go with these standing orders can be followed, which is being given in this Standing Orders Act. This is what about Standing Orders Act. Thank you.